At 3:54 a.m. on the 12th of August 1980, a little girl was born to John and Lynn Sharp, the baby sister to Christopher Sharp, at Doncaster Rural Infirmary based near Intake in Doncaster. That little girl spent the first approximately 3 years of her life living with both her parents in Hyde Park, Doncaster. That little girl was me, now known as Louise Lou Beer. I have spent the majority of my life growing up in this former town, now granted city status as of May 2022, granted by Queen Elizabeth II during her Platinum Jubilee celebrations. It officially changed over to a city in November of that year. I have seen, even before that, how the town evolved, just as I am evolving. Once upon a time the French Gate Centre was the Arndale Centre. The somewhat naked-looking sculptures in the Waterdale Shopping Centre were once housed in there too. Evolution is good, though a lot is still evolving, for me as well as for the city of Doncaster. Shops that used to be in the Waterdale Shopping Centre like Quick Save and Weigh and Save are now gone, knocked down. New buildings were put up but thus far stand empty, and an effort has been made to revitalise the area with a new cinema, the Savoy, a new one-stop shop for the council, a theatre called Cast, more sculptures, though it may not always be clear what their point is. Other buildings like the Grand Theatre, which stands next to the centralised bus and train interchange, and St James swimming baths have either been bought or had offers made on them, but nothing really seems to be actively happening with them that I can see. The Old Southern bus station is now a Civic Quarter car park, and the flats above what was Netto are still there, but I don't know what the plans are. There's even a new library and museum, the one on Checker Avenue, having closed down. At one point, Doncaster had an airport, known as both Doncaster Sheffield Airport and Robin Hood Airport, serving those locally who had wanted to travel abroad from here or Rotherham and Sheffield. Unclear what Robin Hood had to do with Doncaster, to be honest. There are places of interest if you are able to get to them. St George's Minster, which isn't quite city cathedral but is beautiful inside. A little further out of Doncaster on the way towards Sheffield there is Conisbrough Castle, where I luckily got to go on school trips when I was a kid and in school. As this is my hometown/city, I have wanted to dive more into it than I had done before, despite no longer being able to actually travel around it and show you it in person myself. Due to my physical health, this is the place that even when I'd left is in my blood. The South Bus Station served what I hope one day will be a bustling shopping area again, and also the college and council building that was the old coal board or something like that were knocked down and have been replaced too by more modern looking glass-fronted buildings, though the old girls' school at the top of Checker Road has been partially preserved and can sit round it as it has a cafe. Further out of the city there is also Doncaster Dome, which I have heard is going to have some updating of its own in regard to the swimming pool that had been there. Whilst a lot of the city seems to be focused around the French Gate Centre, with even the Corn Exchange and Wool Markets having been updated to not serve those purposes anymore, I hesitate to state that there is nothing at all here anymore. Yes, it seems that there are a lot of more empty buildings, houses, pubs, takeaways, gambling joints, hairdressers and things. You only have to travel a little bit to find that are places that are still beautiful. Coswell Hall and grounds with their lake and displays. What isn't there is in the Doncaster Museum and Art Gallery in the city, with trains even downstairs. There's Bradford Hall as well, which I have not gotten to have visited myself, but these places have lovely open spaces for you to wander around too. I hope that as a Doncastrian born and raised, I can help encourage you as well as myself to find pride in being from here too. It genuinely isn't all bad, and there are communities you can be involved in out there. One I've been a member of that evolved into a peer support group that has bumping spaces, etc. that's primarily based in Intake, Doncaster, known as the People Focus Group, has been running since 2010/11 and is based at the Wellness Centre on Montrose Avenue. It's open most days 9 till 4 p.m. and they are welcoming. They've done a lot of good work and been helping on the wards around their community as well. I won't say too much more here about them at the minute. I think for now that is all I will go into again on my hometown/city, and maybe if you do want to know more you can email me to the channel's email address, which will link in the description box. Thank you for watching. Bye for now. Lou.